Hello everyone, welcome back to WLR Tier 3 Round 6 at Qatar here. We're at the midpoint of the season with the Tier 3s at the moment. We're a bit late with the late stream there, some technical difficulties, but we are all good and now we're up live at the moment. It's only going to be me today commentating for the views, so hopefully we have a very big action-packed race today and qualifying, so we see quite a few people just starting their laps now. Quite a small grid today of only 11 drivers. Not a great attendance overall, but nonetheless, this track will provide very, very good racing, and strategy will play a massive part in this. Okay, so sorry everyone for that again. I just had to figure out a few things. So at the moment we have Mr. Johnson, who has just gone first by around 7 tenths in the Red Bull over Dan Howarth. As we see the Williams of Bosan come across the line, 4.8 behind the leaders there. The next one to come across the line will be, as we do have a kind of wall of cooldown phase in the Ferrari there. That's quite unfortunate, but lucky enough the car doesn't seem to be damaged at all too much, so be able to link back to the pits and get that all repaired, so be able to send it on another flyer. As we have Yeet coming across the line, opens up DRS, going to be up to 190 miles an hour, going to cross the line. Let's see where he goes. Wait, did he just start a lap? I'm not too sure. Oh, that's a bit confusing. Yeah, I think he's just starting a lap there. A little small, no ERS at all in the tank there, so I'm not sure what's going on there. No one really on the track. I think everyone's really set their lap. But we have Pintita, I believe, who's just started his lap as well in the first sector. Let's go on board with the Ferrari here. He's going to start rounding off sector 1 in the next few corners here. This track is absolute killer on the ERS. So by the time you get back onto the pit straight, you know you have no ERS. So you need to turn it off midway through the lap to kind of save it for that main straight. But Pintita does seem like he's on a very decent lap here. He's kept it very, very clean. Let's just see what he can put on the board, as all of his lines are just perfect. And we'll see that with this track, it produces such amazing racing just to look at, as Snoz does go fastest by 6.5 tenths of a second, which is expected, because he is very high up in the championship order, as it gets beaten by Mick_TW by 1.5 tenths of a second. So that's an amazing lap from him there. As Snoz, Pintita's just back invalidated there, which is really unfortunate. As you can see, most people start to box now, as everyone's just going to start to go out on their second laps of qualifying, as cooldown phase on those mediums puts it third fastest, so only half second off, which is amazing considering those harder compound of tyres compared to the softs. So the mediums, which are much harder, which are less grippier, but will last a lot longer in the race, and probably the most ideal race tyre, very close to them soft runners, and puts him in a very prime position for the race there, and that will save him a soft set, which may come in handy considering if there's a few safety cars. But nonetheless, the mediums in a race as well are the go-to tyres, I think, in my opinion. You know, they're just the hards are a bit slow around here, but the softs die out too quick, and the mediums are just a perfect balance of that, as we do have cooldown phase front of an Aston Martin here. I don't think they're on the lap, so it won't really matter too much. But what you have to do with the circuit's really spread out, because it's so high downforce, you don't want to be behind another car too much unless it's down the straight. So that dirty air will really impact you, and you want to just have a perfect lap. Ideally, we do have cool down phase spinning, and that's the second time we've seen it off the track here, so it's not, everything's not really going in his direction at the moment here, but no damage to the car at the moment, so everything should be fine. As we're going to start, as there's most cars out on track now, the only two people that are still in the pits are Snoz and Dan Howarth. So I'm guessing they'll probably come out for another lap soon, unless they're only going for 2 laps in the qualifying. But there's everyone else out. There's another Ferrari stopped on track. Was that Pintita? Yep, I think Pintita's just had a trip off the track as well. So that's the other Ferraris going off. So it's not going their way today, but hopefully they can turn it around later on in this session here. I'm not too sure as we do see Aston Martin just track extend a little bit there. They probably backed off their lap after that. It would surprise me if they're not, as we do have our leader here in the Red Bull invalidated his lap time, so he may go for another lap at the moment. And it seems that with most people, every single people we've seen on a hot lap's invalidated here, and it's not surprising considering you want to push so much and the track limits are just so ruthless here. So we're going to have to go on board with a Williams here. Is it Yeet starting a lap? It will be Yeet starting a lap. So a very hard braking zone, long right-hander through turn 1, coming up to turn 2. You need to maximise the exit here, because it's a big old long old run up until around turn 3 and then 4, and just rounding off the final bit of the first sector, which you might want to turn the ERS off here, because it's where you're on a slice part of the circuit and you need to save the ERS for the latter bit of the lap. But he does go through sector 1, he starts to sector 2 now. He goes through the trickiest corner on the track, in my opinion, the hairpin, where it's so hard just to brake and then get quickly on the power at the same time. This long right-hander which doesn't end, but then it's like a short little left-hander there, and it's mainly flat out through here, and then you have a hard braking zone, and now you're coming up into the final sector, which is, in real life, very demanding on your neck. And we're going to see this if we go on board right now, just how fast they're going through these near-on flat corners here, and it's just one little mistake like we just seen from Yeet there, and you're off the track. It's a very, very demanding sector, and it requires extreme driving skill just to keep the car on the track, and these cars aren't really easy to drive at all. But as we're going to see, Yeet rounding off the lap here, opens up his rear wing, and his deployment's used up now, as I previously said, and Yeet is going to put it P3, so that's a very good lap. 4/10 of a second off the leader still, but I'm sure he'd be happy with that, since that puts him on the second row of the grid, which isn't bad at all. That's a very, very good position, especially if he has great race pace. As I'm just looking round, Chazza has got no ERS, so I'm not sure what's going on there, if he's starting a lap or what, as there is a Red Bull on a lap. I'm not sure which one it was. Might have been Mr. Johnson just improving a little bit there, but I'm not sure if he went up any places, as we're going to see Samas coming around the final corner here, opens up the DRS. He's going to be finishing off his lap here. He's going to be looking to improve on his lap, but I'm not sure. Did he run out of fuel? Pintita goes fastest by around 1.3 tenths, which is amazing for the Ferrari there, as I think his teammate just probably starting a lap now, so he might want to give him a little toe down on the straights, as there's going to be I think Bosan's Williams in the last sector, but he's invalidated it and he was up as well, so that's a bit of a shame here at the moment, but he should be good nonetheless. As we're going to see Snoz, who's also invalidated his lap, but maybe going again. That's quite a common reoccurrence at the moment here. Hassas, who is on a valid lap at the moment here, so it's a bit of a surprise at the moment, but as we see how much he just eats up the ERS, 16%, when you start at 100%, he's just so demanding on power here, and we see that with fuel as well, people running out of fuel constantly. But as he rounds the final corner, opens up the DRS, let's see where Hassas can put his car. It may be a good lap, as he's powering across the finish line now. Hassas improves to P3, and he's 2.4 tenths off the leader there. That's a very good lap from Hassas at the moment. I'm sure he'd be extremely happy with that, and I do believe he went purple sector 3 at the same time, so that's very good, and that'll probably be the last of the second laps for everyone here, as there's not many people on the lap. I think Snoz may be on the lap, so let's see. Snoz is 300ths up on his sector 1 here, as he starts his sector 2 through the tricky hairpin here. I'm not sure who the leader is. As Cooldown Phase goes fastest by 4 tenths of a second. That's an extreme lap from him there to have a Ferrari provisional 1-2 at the moment. So I'm sure they'll be extremely happy with that, and it's always good to have a rear gunner right behind you, especially at this track, because strategy is so important around here, especially that key undercut, which will gain you so much time. But as we know, the tyre dig around here is also insane. So it'll be extremely hard to maintain tyres towards the end of a race if you pull off a large undercut. But as we see Snoz here, he's just in sector 3, penultimate corner now. He's going to be rounding the final corner. He has no ERS, which isn't going to help him down this straight at all. As he rounds the final corner, opens up the DRS. Without any ERS, he's going to be going extremely slow compared to the others. But will Snoz be able to put this? Snoz puts his P3 right behind the 2 Ferraris, which is a very good lap, and he's only around 1/10 of Pintita. So, but at the moment, a mega lap from Cooldown Phase to put him 4/10 of a second in front of everyone else. It's mega. And at the moment, Wee Chazar is in last, who's going to be hoping to put in a lap here, who hasn't put in a lap. He will want to get as high as he can possible. I'm not sure if he's invalidated his laps or had mistakes, but I'm sure he'll get a good lap in and put himself up there. But as we're going to see, this is like the point where everyone's in the pits for all laps, so it's quite tricky to commentate on, but it should be fine, as we do have a fuel and out lap here. Let's just talk setup and strategy around here. So it's quite a hard track, because qualifying is quite key. So you'd want to run the higher wing setup, but which will increase your downforce around here, which is good over a qualifying lap, since there's little to none straights where you can gain time and there's more corners. But in the race, you want to have maybe the lower wings set up, because down that pit straight's the only time you can really overtake someone over a whole lap, and we will know that that's the only way you're going to overtake. So having the lower wings will definitely help people over the lap and just overtaking people, which may just bring them more pace. So this may just show who's running the higher wing setup and low wings, as we are going to have a few people just starting their laps now. So we do have Dan Howard on his lap now. So as he's going to be entering the final bit of sector 1 here, he's in P8 at the moment, and he's 2 seconds down on the leader. Definitely hoping to improve, but oh no, he's invalidated, so I doubt that will even matter, as he's going to be starting his lap now, as he just goes through turn 3 there. Now coming up to turn 4 now. This little double right-hander, it's a bit tricky, since people can take this flat, some people can't. As it ends sector 1 now, Yeet is going to be 6 tenths down, which isn't ideal at all, and I'm not sure if he's backed out with this lap. I think he has. He invalidated. That's not key at all. I'm not sure if he's going to be happy with that. He may be able to just get another lap in at the moment here, as we see Bosan just in 10th at the moment, 6.2 seconds down. He's going to be looking to push for a mega lap here, as he just goes through turn 3. He's going to be coming up to extreme difficult double right-hander here, just at round off sector 1. He's going to have to be a big improvement here, since he's a little bit off, but he will get up there. This is a half-second improvement, which is a lot of time, so he may be looking to get really, really far up the order now, and maybe try and be best of the rest, or even challenge for that top 3 on the second row of the grid there, as he does have a Ferrari behind him. But oh, Bosan invalidates. That is not key, and he's going to be angry himself, I'm sure, with that. But he may be able to, since there's 2 minutes on the timer, probably get another lap in. I'm sure he will be. As I think Yeet is starting another lap now. So as he just goes through turn 1, coming up to turn 2, these are very, very tricky corners and demanding on the tyres, as he's going to go through turn 3 now, and then he's going to start heading up to turn 4 with a double right-hander, which will catch out a lot of drivers here, and I'm sure will separate the leader's pace and like maybe the midfield pace here, as he does seem to do that extremely fast. Goes through sector 1, he's a 10th up on his time. That's very, very good, considering he's only 9 tenths down. So if he can carry on that through the rest of the lap, I'm sure it'll be a good lap, as he did get purple sector 1 there, so he's the fastest in the whole session through sector 1 at the moment. Let's carry on board with him at the moment here, as he just invalidates his lap, and that's him out. The number 99 car of Yeet there, not getting a valid lap. He may be able to get another lap as well in, as we see our leader here, Cooldown Phase, on a lap at the moment here. He looks like he's up on his time, as we do have Samas, who's just gone P9 over his teammate. Where will did Snoz start a lap? Snoz may have started a lap, I'm not too sure, but we do see a McLaren retire on track. As we see Chaza, I think he's on a lap as well. He's going to be rounding off the lap now. Where's that going to put him? P10 only, but this is still 100th improvement from himself there, so it's going to be P9 and P10 at the moment for the two Aston Martins. I'm sure they're going to be aiming higher in the race at the moment here, as it's a bit hard to tell which Williams is which here. As we're going to look into the final corner here, we do have Hassas's McLaren going slow. He's going to be starting a lap. This is going to be extremely close for him to beat the clock here. This is going to be a very, very tight thing. If he can pull this lap off, it would be very, very good. As we do see the two Ferraris now, as we see Pintita starting the lap as well, that's going to be even closer. Will he even make it? I'm not sure. But as we see Cooldown Phase, he's going to be ending the lap here. Cooldown Phase, he's 2 tenths down, but he's still on provisional pole, so that won't matter. As we see Mr. Johnson's Red Bull cross the line, improvement. He's in P7. Yeet is just sitting in the pits now. The session's over for him. He could have improved, but he probably didn't. P11, P10 for Bosan, so he's separated the two Aston Martins, which is very, very good. I'm sure he'll be happy with himself there. As we'll see an Aston Martin go across the line, P9 only, and the other Aston Martin is slow on track. As we're going to see the other Red Bull of Mick come across the line now. He's going to finish his lap, and that's going to be provisional pole for the Red Bull. That's an extreme lap there. Nearly 4 tenths of a second to the car behind him. That's a very, very good lap. I'm sure he'll be happy with that, but let's see what any other cars can say about it. As we see Cooldown Phase in the gravel, let's see if Pintita can say anything about that. But at the moment, it doesn't look like he can, since he's 600ths down on his Delta, which he won't be looking for. He's going to need to gain some more time out of this, as the next person to cross the line will probably be Hassas, who just invalidates there, runs wide, peels into the pits. So our next person to come across the line now is Pintita, as he's going to be going around the final corner. He wants to get on the first row of the grid and beat his teammate here. Will he be able to do that? As he opens up that rear flap, and it's the DRS open, and he's going to probably get up to 8th gear. Now, where does Pintita go? No! Only P4. He still improves, but it's P4 only. As we do see a few others retire on track here, but that won't matter. Everyone else has crossed the line now, and that is our order. That's an insane qualifying session there. Very, very interesting. As we see the Red Bull of Mix on pole, then the Ferrari of Cooldown Phase with Snoz's Alfa Romeo, then the other Ferrari of Pintita, Hassas's McLaren, Yeats Williams, Mr. Johnson's Red Bull. I'm not too sure as after that, but it will show us after. Very, very good qualifying for the two Ferraris there also, to get themselves so close to each other, which will definitely help if they play the strategy call and help each other out. So that is our order there. Very, very good qualifying session. Very great pole position from the Red Bull there. I'm sure he'll be happy with himself, and he knows he's got the pace now coming into the race. So following the rest of the grid, Dan House McLaren, Sam Mass's Aston Martin, Bosan's Williams, Chaz's Aston Martin. Very, very good qualifying session there. Let's see what the race can provide us here. So I'm not too sure if many of drivers will know this, but there will be no formation lap at the moment here, so we just want to reduce as many glitches as possible here and have a smooth running race. But as we're going to see, all the drivers just start lining up on the grid, and they're going to get ready for the 5 red lights now, as we're going to start hearing them revving. Hopefully we don't have the red light glitch. It's lights out and away we go, but what's happened? No, someone has jump started. Okay, so it was the red lights glitch here. So as we do see, the Red Bull pull away well, but I'm not too sure what's gone on. No, maybe the McLaren's ghosted there, so he gets a very, very good start, but that's probably why. That won't matter too much. There's a few glitches. So we have the Red Bull in first, then cool down phase, then Snoz's Alfa Romeo, which has separated the Ferraris still. Let's see what's happening further back. Hassas has dropped down 6 positions. That's not a great start, and he's quite a few turns away now. So he's had a very, very poor start. Same with Yeet, who's dropped down 2 positions. Pintita down by 1. Snoz down by 1. Dan Howarth up by 4, but I think he's still AI'd. I'm not too sure. The top 3 remain the same at the moment here. But as we still see the Red Bull with Mick, he's still in the lead here. He's 7 tenths ahead. He's had an amazing start so far. Not much more to really comment on his race apart from perfection at the moment. Very, very good start, but cool down phase is definitely going to have his head down here to try and catch the Ferrari at the moment, but Snoz is very close behind, and we know the pace of Snoz. We've seen it before. Let's see what he can deliver as well, but we've seen this from every other driver here. The pace here is very, very good, and they're setting some very, very good high standards at the moment against other races. As it's a very, very big shame for Hassas here, but we know what Hassas can do. He can deliver, and I just want to check the tyres here. So we have a mixture of hards and mediums. So the Red Bull at the moment of Mick on the mediums here, so he would definitely have to be in first here to pull this strategy off. But cool down phase staying extremely close behind the Red Bull here on the harder tyres, which is maybe the ideal strategy option around here to confirm the undercut and just a faster strategy. Snoz has gone on the hards as well, but then the Ferraris have split strategy with Pintita on the mediums here. Looks like Red Bulls have stuck the same strategy of the mediums on both cars. Yeet has just passed Chaza coming into the second sector there. What a great move. We don't really see corner. Oh! And Chaza just hit round Yeet. Oh, I'm not too sure what's happened there. That's not ideal at all, and I'm sure he's not going to be happy at all with Chaza. But he'll have to keep on racing as he gets past Samus's Aston Martin there. Yeet is going to have to come back for round 2 there and have to get past Chaza again. But we have to see what the stewards say after the races. We see another big move from an Aston Martin there. That's extremely odd to really see happening around here, and these moves at every single corner, but it's providing some very, very good racing here as Bosan just gets spun round. That's a wheel come off the Williams. The Williams is out of the Grand Prix. Oh, he had an excellent start as well, and he's only got 3 wheels on the Williams, and the safety car has been deployed, full safety car here, and that's going to bunch up the whole pack now, and that's going to bring everyone so close together as there's a bit of a little mix-up, a little bit of a car park towards the end of the pack there. But Bosan's out and Yeet is at the back of the pack. The 2 Williams have not had the best of starts here, and I'm sure Bosan may have words to say about that in the chat later, but I'm sure that will get brought to the stewards as well, and their attention will look at that soon. But very, very unlucky from him there. I'm sure he won't be happy with that at all. But Yeet may have to just put an excellent race on here to bring home some very, very good points for Williams, who have, I think, been the overall constructors leaders in whole of tiers since I think they've won the most races or something. As we do see Samus pick up a 3-second time penalty, so he's got track limits under safety car somehow. So I won't question him on how he's done that, but nonetheless it won't matter. So we've only got 10 races in this race now, so no matter where you finish, you're going to pick up a point at least. So everyone will be happy with that. So everyone's going to get points here unless you obviously DNF. The lead, I'm pretty sure the grid just stays the same at the moment here. The only thing that has changed has Mr. Johnson gone up 2 positions. Chaz up by 5. Samus up by 2. So a very great start from the 2 Aston Martins there. Hassas down by 3. Then Howarth down by 1, who is still 8-eyed. And Yeet down by 4. But I'm sure that will all change towards the end of the race, as we're not too sure what will happen at all here, since this track is usually very, very action-packed. And it's just one big DRS train, especially towards that last lap. As we just see, Dan Half, I think I'll try and invite him back. Let's try and invite him back. I'm not too sure where he is on my friends list. Which one will he be? I'm not sure if I even invited him. But let's carry on going. So as we do see, Samas is going to softs. The Aston Martin's going soft. Bosan's left the session now, so that's obvious because of his frustrations there. But we see the first soft runner in the race here, which is a questionable strategy, but if he can pull this off, you've got to give him props for that. So we are having a bit of technical difficulties with some people leaving and joining here from lagging out, I believe, but let's try and find where they are and invite them back. So as we still need to invite racers back, it's a bit hard at the moment here, as the safety car does pick that, and the Red Bull does get away very well, but the Ferraris and the Alfa Romeo are still chasing them, as it's going to be too wide here, with the Red Bull and the Aston Martin into turn one, as the Red Bull just stays ahead there, and he's going to be aiming to get past the Ferrari of Pintita as well soon. But as we still have Samas at the back of the pack now, but he's going to be on the soft, so he is going to be on the faster tyre here. So he's going to be aiming to get through the pack as soon as possible. As we see Dan's ghosted car trying to get past Yeet, but it's not really working. And there's a bit of a gap now between Yeet and Hassas. So Hassas hasn't really got to worry about behind at all. But let's try and invite him back again. So as we still see the Red Bull staying in the lead now, but Snoz is very, very eager to get past the Ferrari here for second place and try and aim after the Red Bull, but he can't get past successfully at the moment as Pintita is starting to drop behind a little bit. Mr. Johnson's still in the DRS of Pintita here, but Hassas is 2 seconds behind. But they're side by side. Oh, and there's a big collision there between the Williams and the Aston Martin there, and there's definitely the damage for both. Are any of them out the race? No, but I think they've both lost their front wing, as Yeet has retired, so that's both Williams out of the race here. But Wee Chazza lives to see another day here. And did Yeet retire on track? I'm not too sure, but a virtual safety car is out, so it's not a full safety car just yet at all. But Wee Chazza will be able to get back to the pits and change his tyres as well. As we still see two people with penalties at the moment here. So Samas up into 7th now on the soft. Will we see him peel in and box? We're not too sure, but This will bunch them up slightly now, but they've got to be careful of the Delta so they don't get a drive-through penalty. But on this game, the virtual safety cars are extremely longer compared to the last game, and will generally last around a lap around here. As we see Mick put his foot down slightly, but he's going to have to get back to that Delta pace, as he will do in a second. But will we see Weechaz appealing? We probably will. It's unfortunate from him there. It's a bit of a, as it is green flags, and Pintita gets a drive-through penalty for speeding on a safety car. I think that's the same thing for Snor's opinions on me putting after Wait, let me read that. What have you got to say, Quattro? As it will be side by side into turn one with Mr. Johnson and Pintita there. So Pintita, really unfortunate, as Weechaz gets a 5-second time penalty. So penalties are just getting given out all over the board. So 3rd, 4th and 5th, all drive-through penalties, and 7th. So Hassas here is in a net P3 here. And that's going to be a big gap to the leaders here. So looks like the main fight at the moment will be Cooldown Phase and Mixed Red Bull for the lead at the moment. And it looks like Hassas will be in quite a comfortable P3 soon. And Dan Howarth probably in a P4, I'm not too sure at all really. Opinions on me quitting F1 after Qatar? Well, if you're meaning this Qatar, this Saturday, my opinions are don't. We need you to race Quattro. There's no point in quitting, I don't think, anyway. Extremely fast driver, should stay. It's always fun just to race as well, but if you do quit, that's your choice, you know. But we will see the DRS open on the Ferrari here, as he's going to pull to the right hand side of the Red Bull. He's going to take the lead into turn one. Will the Red Bull try and the switchback? But it does not happen, as Cooldown Phase, I do think, has got the fastest lap now. But the Red Bull's all over the gearbox of the Ferrari. But the Ferrari's just pulling away slightly now. So this is a huge battle for the lead on lap 8 here. And there's still a big tyre difference of the hards of the Ferrari and the mediums of the Red Bull, and at the moment it's probably around the crossover point of which tyre's the fastest. And we know them hards are going to go longer. If you tell me to stay, I'll stay. Only if Qatar goes well, stay. And I'll make sure you win it then. But we are still going to see these two very close. Around 2.5 tenths of a second separates these two, which is extremely close at this track. Considering how long and like windy it is. Can you check if I'm there now, please? Yeah, sure thing. Be there. This. I invited you. You should be back now, and you're in quite a good position as well, so that's ideal. As we see, 3 seconds for the two Astons there. A drive-through still for Mr. Johnson, and 3 seconds for Hassas. But we're going to have to go back to the lead here, as we're going to check both of their tyres. But will Mick get past here down the straight? We're going to go on board with him right now. Opens up the DRS, he barely uses too much battery, but Cooldown Phase goes defensive. The Red Bull peels to the left, takes the racing line. He's going to lead into turn one and has the racing line. So it's a very, very easy move for the Red Bull there. But will the Ferrari try and come back in? I don't believe he can. He's a little bit too far behind at this point. But he may have to wait till the next DRS zone. This is a very, very good battle for the lead, as they're so close together. We're not sure who's going to come out on top, but the strategy will definitely play a massive, massive thing in this. As we see the Red Bull's mediums really not working too well for him because of the safety cars come out, so he hasn't made full use of those mediums at all. Whereas Cooldown Phase has got the harder or more rubbish tyre out the way. Oh, his rear end slides very badly there coming through that corner. That's probably just a sign of how bad these tyres are getting now at this point. That's a huge little sprint through that corner at the moment. That's lost him a lot of time, and he's going to be on the verge of getting out of DRS here. What does the Red Bull do? The Red Bull dropped him out of DRS, so that's a huge thing at the moment. So their medium still seems to be working for the Red Bull, and he's going to be staying ahead down the straight. But no, the Ferrari does get back into it, and he's going to get into the DRS, which is probably one of the most key things to do at this track, getting the DRS, and that's probably an extra 15 miles per hour or 10 miles per hour of straight line speed. He's going to get down the straight and close the time so much. Let's see how fast he's going to be going into turn 1. Around 193 miles per hour, and it gained him only around 4 tenths. But as you see, actually, the DRS is there. Without DRS, you would maybe only gain about 1 tenth down that straight, but 4 tenths is huge. But the Red Bull's going to be in comfortable position here, considering he knows he's got the amount of DRS and he knows he's got the pace still. You see Casas in a bit of a boring race here, all by himself, with his teammate behind who still doesn't seem to be back. So I'm not sure what's going on there, but Snoz is right behind him, who has served the drive-through, with Pintita behind him and everyone else who still may have served. Well, I think everyone served the penalty at this point. 2 Aston Martins on the softs, so Weechaz has 2 lap olds, well 3 lap old now. Samas is 6, and everyone else is on 9 lap mediums or hards. The hards are probably the better tyre around here, but his cooldown phase is getting very close to track limits here. He's going to have to really push for this DRS. Will he get it? I highly doubt it. He's coming up to the DRS protection point now. It's going to be really close, and he doesn't get it. So he's just going to have to rely on pure slipstreams down here, which will not gain him too much at all. Why is it in spectator? Press square and try and take control if that doesn't. If that doesn't work, I'm not too sure what you can do at that point. You might have to just rely on your AI just to do well for you. But the Red Bull has just pulled out a 1.5 second advantage, which is a huge gap at the moment here. And considering he's on the worst tyre this particular part of the race, he's going to be very happy with himself. But cooldown phase is going to definitely stay determined here to try and get back in front, or at least sit behind him in the DRS, get some of his battery power back, which is extremely key around this track, as we only really see some of the top esports guys use around 2% a lap, maybe even little, when they're just with someone in front of them. And it seems just to be like a last lap all or nothing really around here, or strategy. And we know around here that undercut can be around 4 seconds a lap faster, because, and for any of you that don't know, the undercut's where you pit before the car in front or behind you to gain a track advantage and have more time, but you would be on older tyres compared to those. So you pit before them, hopefully come out in front. And the overcut is essentially the opposite of that. But cooldown phase is now 2.5 behind. He's losing more and more time. He does have less ERS also. So the Red Bull, he's just having an absolute weldy of the race at the moment. They're just pulling out time to the car behind, sitting on his old mediums, but he's medium through the climb. He doesn't look like he has a significant loss on the grip at the moment here. But cooldown phase did have that moment a minute ago, but I believe his hards will probably be back in order now, and we will start coming into the pit window for around everyone up until P7 at the moment. Let's see if Dan's back. He's still not back. I think there's an extreme issue going on, and that may be his race over at the moment here. Extremely unfortunate, but it's just extreme tough luck. As the grid is now extremely separated, so we have the 2 Aston Martins on the pit straight at the moment here, so pretty much every car is in a different sector at this point. But cooldown phase has brought the gap down to just 2 seconds now, as track limits will probably start being a thing soon, as you get 2 warnings really of track limits if you go past the white line on the track, which is extremely hard to stay within, considering, as you see, Hassas pick up a 3-second time limit, I think adds to another one he had. Extremely hard when you're on the older tyres and trying to push for cars in front. But cooldown phase struggling with his tyres, his ERS, so he's going to have to really rely on a lasting wonder here to try and pull off this win at the moment. But Mick is being extremely comfortable. He's as cool as an Iceman, you know. He's just no pressure. He's just driving out in the lead, setting decent laps, 3 tenths off in the first second there. I've got control back of the car again on my screen. Everyone became an AI left. So you've lagged out again. Yeah, you've lagged out. I'm not too sure. I'm trying to. So if you leave that session again now, I can try and invite you back. If that doesn't work, there's nothing I can do for you, and that's probably you just gonna have to call it a day. So there's another thing. As we see, cooldown phase get a 3-second time penalty there. That's going to play a massive thing towards the end of the race. So Mick has got another thing going his way at the moment. So he was on pole and now he's leading now. Dan Howard is back. So Mick has not got a track limits penalty just yet. But he will have to pit onto the harder tyres, which won't be as hard because cooldown phase is medium, but he's got a 2-second gap and he won't have a penalty, so hopefully his medium undercut, if he picks this lap, the undercut will be huge for him, and hopefully he can just stay out on when he picks for the hards, try to stay in front of cooldown phase's Ferrari. But after the Ferrari in second there, it's a large gap to Hassas's McLaren, but I think with Hassas's penalties there, it puts Snoz around 6 or 5 tenths behind him there, and Snoz is on the harder tyres, so he's going to be on softer rubber at the end of the Grand Prix here, so he will probably get within Hassas's 6 seconds, unless Hassas obviously appeals over at the end of the race, which is very unlikely considering most people just go over the track limits in any case. But those drive-through penalties from the virtual safety car played a huge part here, and that's put Snoz in 4th, Quintita in 5th, Mr. Johnson in 7th. You know, it's crazy. It's Mr. Johnson left the session. I'm not too sure if he lagged out. He probably did lag out, so let me invite him back if he hasn't. It's a bit awkward here, so sorry guys, I have to invite everyone all the time because I'm the only spectator in the race here, so you're going to have to bear with me on that one. But it's not really going Aston Martin's way this race, as we do see the first pitters. Cooldown phase is now in the lead, as Dan's left the session now, so Mick pits. Mick is on a fresh set of hards now. Who else pits? I think that's Hassas pitting. Hassas goes onto a set of hards. Was that a slow stop, or did he have to serve a penalty, or I'm not sure. But Hassas is now on a set of hards now, a fresh set. As we're going to see Quintita right behind Mick's Ferrari there, but Quintita hasn't pit, and that just shows the massive gap from 4th to 1st essentially. I'm not too sure how long the pit lane is around this track, but he's gone through the entire pit lane and even boxed for a new fresh set, and he's still come out on a podium position. So he's got nothing to lose at this point. He's done everything right. He's so far ahead of all the other competition. The only bit of competition he's got cooldown phase, and he's pulling the overcut, which is notoriously slower actually at this track. But we know tyre diggers is insane, so maybe at the end of the Grand Prix he will be a lot faster compared to the Red Bull. But he has got the track limit, which will play a big part, as Snoz in P2, who hasn't pitted either, and he's only about 8 tenths in front of Mick, so the gap here is huge. I'm not sure if we'll see any other pitters. Quintita won't pit, I doubt it. Most people are staying out, so I think lap 14 was maybe what they got suggested on their pit strategy, but people around the overcut here, trying to take their tyres as long as they can. The Red Bull doesn't go for the move here. He just comes out of the dirty air for the corner, just sits behind Snoz at the moment, but he's going to have to get past him quick, otherwise he's going to get held up by the Alfa Romeo, and the Alfa Romeo's on slower tyres at the moment, and Mick's going to be insanely quicker. So, and we can't really overtake in this sector at all. There's not many overtaking zones unless he comes up and sends one into the hairpin, which is dangerous. He goes around the outside here. Yeah, it keeps kicking me when out. Oh, unlucky, man. You had a good race. Oh, wow, Mick pulls an insane switchback. That's a brilliant move, and that's put him up into P2 and essentially net P1. That's a very, very good move. Probably one of the best overtakes I've seen in this entire season there. He just sent him to the outside, made Snoz go defensive, pulled the old switcheroo, and just went the other way, went back onto the racing line, and wow, what a great move, and that's going to probably put Snoz outside the DRS as well, as we do see Samas go outside of, sorry, get a 3-second time penalty there, and Chaza gets another one as well, so loads of track limits getting picked up here. The only people to not get one was Dan, who sadly AI'd and can't join back, Pintita, Snoz, and Mick. So I doubt these two, Snoz and Pintita, will get affected by cooldown phases, track limits anyway, but Mick most definitely will, and it'll be in a positive way for him. But as he sets the fastest lap of the Grand Prix on those set of hards, when will we see cooldown phase pit? Probably this lap, because them hards are definitely starting to go off a bit of a cliff now, because he's took those for ages. This track's one of the highest tracks on fuel and tyre wear. Your front left gets an absolute punishing from here, especially from that last sector where you're near and above 80% throttle for the entire thing, which is putting a lot of strain on the front left tyre there, and he's probably going to be, if it takes this any longer, in puncher territory if he goes to lap 20. Do you still get your AI points? I think if you class as a finisher, if your AI finishes, yeah, you probably will. So you're probably going to get P9 points in any case, unless there's another retirement. So points on the board, I'm guessing, as your AI just goes up into P7. So your AI is softs. Well, your AI is having a massive battle with an Aston Martin here, which isn't going to matter too much. You see the Ferrari come into the pits now. Let's see what he can do. The Ferrari pit crew come out now. What is he going on to? Are those a set of softs? Wow. Okay, that's yeah, that's not what any of us expected to see there. A set of softs, a new fresh set as well. So he saved those from qualifying theirs. The Red Bull goes into the lead. Snoz is going to take P2 now. Will Pintita get past him? Yeah, he does. So cooldown phase is down in fourth. The Ferrari there has gone on a set of softs. He's got to take those for 11 laps. He may be in danger of a lot of tyre wear at the end, but he's on the faster rubber, but he's going to have to gain a heap of time, and let's check how much he's got to gain. He's got to gain 8.9 seconds, so although Mick's on the set of hards with the harder rubber and cooldown phases on the best grip tyres which are available to it, he's going to have to gain a lot of time, probably about a second a lap here, as we see. Well, that's the order at the moment here, sorry, the Red Bull in the lead, who does have the track limits now, which I did not pick up on. Snoz and Peters still hasn't pitted that anything. Pintita not pitted. Cooldown phase who has pitted, as Mr. Johnson gets the track limits. Cooldown phase who has pitted. Hassas is pitted, Mr. Johnson is pitted. Dan Howell who has pitted, which has and Salas. So we've just got to expect the Alfa Romeo Ferrari here to pit, who's going on a really, really large overcut. And they're going to, yeah, probably peel into the pits this lap. So Pintita's in. Does Snoz stay in? No. Snoz stays out. So I'm not sure what tyres these are going to go on. Pintita, he's on medium, so is he going to try and make the mediums to soft work? He does. He goes on a set of softs as well. He's going to be taking those to the end, so he's going to be on the faster tyre. Can Pintita undercut Snoz by a mile here? He may be able to, because we know how powerful it is. As we see, does Hassas overtaken? Yes, Hassas is up into P4 now. Let's just have a look at the penalties. Mick with 3 seconds, Snoz with nothing, cooldown phase with 6, Hassas with 6, Pintita with nothing, Mr. Johnson with 6, Dan Power with nothing, 17 seconds for Weechaz and 12 seconds for Samas. The penalties here are going to play a huge part, I think, but there's going to be some Ferrari, what Ferrari is at, going to be lapping, I think, I can't find it, right, yeah, okay, that's cooldown phase coming up to lap Samas here, which is unfortunate, so that he's been lapped now by cooldown phase, so he's been lapped up to P3, that's, everything has gone wrong for him, but at least they're both in a point hand position here, and both are going to probably bring home points for the Aston Martin. And Weechaz is in the pits now, so the Aston Martin comes into the pits. He's on a new set of softs here. Is he going to get overtaken by his teammate? It's going to be a bit of a battle on the way out. Let's see if he does. It's going to be extremely close. He does. Samas is in front of his teammate now, but Samas is on 5 lap old hards. Chaza is on new softs, and new softs are the fastest tyre we can get around the whole circuit. Oh, Chaza almost takes a trip to the gravel right there. He won't be wanting to do that as his teammate. Oh, there's contact between the two Aston Martins. Oh, surely team orders have got to go on there, otherwise they're going to both take each other out this race at the moment. Will Samas have to let his teammate through? They're both getting very eager on the brakes and close to each other. Samas is harvesting all his battery, so he clearly doesn't have enough battery to really defend, whereas Chaza has loads to defend with. As they both go off the track. I'm not sure if they hit each other. Samas went on the gravel. Chazza's not on the gravel, though. He stayed on the track. Let's see. No, Snoz and Pentita still stay clear of the... So, oh wait, so Snoz has pitted now on a new set of mediums. Pentita's on a new set of softs, pretty much. We've got to see how this pans out, because Pentita's only around 2 seconds behind, 1.8 now. So he's going to be, if he can gain enough for his sector, he may be able to get DRS, which will be his lifeline and keep him on the back of Snoz pretty much for maybe the rest of the race, if he's that fast. But if you see the gap from cooldown phase to Mick go down a lot, so around a lap or two ago it was 9 seconds, now cooldown phase has brought it down to 7.8, but cooldown phase has still got those penalties now, so he will probably finish behind on this. Of course, Mick has a very, very poor race and has a accident. Cooldown phase has got a lot of work on his hands, and Pintina does set the fastest lap of the race. So he's closing in on Snoz. He may be able to get within the DRS of this lap, but Snoz's new mediums are probably going to be maybe even faster than those softs, since the tyre wear on those softs will start dying really, really soon due to the degradation around the circuit, and the mediums probably being the fastest tyre you can get in the race at least. As we see, Snoz is very close to Hassas actually as well, who does have quite a few penalties, so Snoz could be on for a very good podium here despite serving a drive-through penalty. Show penalties, yeah, sure. So, wow, so Mick and Cooldown Phase have equal penalties here. So Mick has been exceeding track limits quite a lot. Same with Hassas, but Snoz has kept himself clean, and he's going to probably get within DRS here within this lap. He's just got this little left-hander to go. He's now in it, and Pentita's unsuccessful of getting within Snoz's DRS, but Snoz is very close now. He's only 4 attempts behind. Will we see a move from Snoz? He's opened up his DRS. He's going to use a bit of overtake. He's got more battery than Hassas. He's using a lot of it. He's going to peel to the right-hand side of the McLaren, go up into P3, sets the fastest lap. Very, very good stuff from Snoz there. And he seems very, very fast, as he does probably take a track limit just there, but it's only a warning nonetheless. But I think any more and he will have to get a penalty soon from the FIA for exceeding the track limits. So Hassas has dropped behind now on those hards. Let's just check the tyres. So Hassas 7 lap old hards was nothing compared to Snoz's mediums. But let's see if Pentita can close the gap on Hassas' car now. As we do see, the hards are going to probably be nothing compared to those softs. But those softs have gone 3 laps, and 3 laps do not seem like a lot. But around this track, 3 laps will probably get the tyres on equal tyre wear compared to those 7 lap old hards. Which is crazy, as we see Cooldown Phase get another 3 seconds, as that brings him up to 9 seconds of penalties. So, if Snoz can keep his nose clean and gain 6 seconds from those mediums, he could get second here, which could be crazy. But I doubt he'll be able to challenge the Red Bull Mick here, because he's got to gain 9 seconds at the moment, which will be quite a lot of time to gain, considering he's really, really far away from the Red Bull there. But he may be able to, if he's fast enough on those mediums. So there's a yellow flags in sector 1. There's an Aston Martin off the track. Which one is that? That is Samas. He's lost his front wing as well, I think. Is that a virtual safety car? Yeah, it is. So not the full safety car. It's just a virtual. So all the drivers got to stick to a Delta now. Will Samas pit and probably get a new front wing? Probably going to set us off as he's taking trips through the gravel now. 18 seconds. This is definitely not driver's standards we want to see here. As he's just driving pretty recklessly now without that front wing and just doesn't really look like he's caring too much. Shame for Dan, but Dan's now on the back of Chaza here and does go through. So Dan's car is in P7, so he could be in for an absolute treat here. So the virtual safety car peels in now, so Snoz, for the second time this race, has to serve a drive-through penalty. So essentially, he has to just drive through the entire pit lane, which may cost him around 15 seconds. So Pintita goes through. Pintita is up into third place. Wait, what's happened here? Has Mick pitted? I didn't pick up on that. Mick has pitted for a new set of softs. Mick will need to gain 6 seconds here. I'm not sure if that was the strategy to really go for, but we will see that later on in the race. So it's a Ferrari 1-3 at the moment here. They're going to be picking up a lot of points this race if the race was to end like this. But let's see what Mick can do on those softs. We know how fast he's been in this race. And we know he has got the 3 seconds less of penalties compared to cooldown phase. So he will only have to gain around like 5 seconds here, sorry. So he can get behind the Ferrari, but that'll be extremely close. So he may not have to overtake him, but he'll have to go maximum push. So he's going to have to pray the Ferrari softs go off and his softs stay in a very good firing window. But that'll be extremely close, as Pintita is quite a while away from him. Hassas dropping off from Pintita now. Hassas maybe could have pitted for some new tyres, but opted not to. Snoz is obviously just served that drive-through. He was in an extremely good position there, but obviously got caught out with a Delta, which is quite unfortunate because it's quite buggy this game. And a lot of drivers definitely been caught out with that in the past, but shame he's happened to him twice in a race here. And a lot of things have been going bad for him, considering we know what his pace has been like. But I think the two Aston Martins have had it worse here, as they both now got front wings here, which is a good sign for them. But I'm not sure if... Well, they probably will finish the race, but in a very crappy position. Just down to just a pure unlucky, but it doesn't matter really. Dan probably got a bit lucky. His AI has kept up a good amount of pace. So although he couldn't control his car, he's in P7. Mr. Johnson, he's been a bit in a race of his own here. He's not really seen too many other cars. He's just had to drive consistent laps. P6, not a bad haul of points anyway. Snoz, as we just talked about, just unlucky. Samas picks up another 3-second time penalty. Let's just check the penalties here, as that is 21 seconds now for the Aston Martin of Samas and 18 seconds for Chaza. So that's a lot of people getting caught out now. 9 seconds for both cooldown phase and Hassas, as Mick expectedly gets the fastest lap of the race, and wow, 4.2 behind. Mick has put on afterburners here, and he only needs to gain 9 tenths in 3 laps here just to win this Grand Prix. So as long as he doesn't pick up a track limits and lets these fresher tyres do the job, hopefully he didn't just pick up a warning there, he will be back in his winning position. I'm not sure if it was a risk worth taking, but he's now got his fastest lap here. I think that Snoz took off him. Pintita is in a bit of a race of his own here. He saw a few people earlier on, but now he's just got to drive consistently to keep his podium position, which I'm sure he'll be happy about. And this will definitely help him out in a Drivers' Championship, because I'm not too sure where he is, but I think he has been driving quite consistently recently, so he will be having a good haul of points here. So the Ferrari's got a very good race here. A shame for the McLarens, but they will still be taking quite a few points back home. But the Red Bulls are doing quite well as well, considering one of them is in a winning position here, and they're getting very close. So we may see Mick's Red Bull get on the back of the Ferrari here, which would be an excellent fight considering the closest gap other than that is 2.5 seconds between Mr. Johnson and Hassas. So with the poor attendance we had for this race, it was kind of expected to have such little battling, and more expected just to be spread out and just strategy playing it. As Mr. Johnson picks up a 3-second time penalty for track limits here, Mick's within the DRS, we probably will see him move this lap, but cooldown phase will definitely be eager, considering it's not out of the realm of impossibility that Mick gets another 3 seconds. So as we check it now, I'm not sure how many warnings they've got each. Let's go on board with Mick. He's pushing around the Ferrari here. Is it going to be coming up towards the end of the second? Oh, the Ferrari bumps over the sausage curbs. Oh, and he spins him. Oh, that's very unfortunate. Oh, as we see Samus's get disqualified there, so Yeet gets bumped up a place. Oh, that's extremely unfortunate for cooldown phase. Pintita will get so close to him. I think with his penalties, Pintita will probably bring home P2 here. Wow. So I'm not sure what happened there, if it was a racing incident or whatnot, but we'll let the stewards decide that after the race if it was to get reported. Cooldown phase gets a 3-second time penalty. He's got track limits here, so Mick is now in the lead, but if we just recover what happened there. Cooldown phase just... Oh, as he's just hit the pit wall. Cooldown phase has just dropped it on the traction, gone into the pit wall and lost the podium position. He's lost his front right wheel off the Ferrari. That he's going to be very gutted about that. So Snoz will probably get put up into a podium position here, and the safety car won't come out since it's won the final 3 laps of the Grand Prix here. Oh, he's going to be extremely gutted with that. He was having such a good race as well. He could have probably challenged for first, but if not, maybe just sitting for a comfortable second, bringing home a double podium for Ferrari. But now that's only going to be 18 points at the moment here from Ferrari, and that's not going to be good. But Hassas gets boosted up to P4, Mr. Johnson to P5, everyone else just gets boosted up a position. So Dan is up another position into P6 as well once he gets past cooldown phase's car. So Dan will get a lot of points, and he's not even raced a race. So can't really complain with that. But yeah, just this race has got extremely boring now. Nothing's going to happen. I can't really see anyone pitting for fastest lap either, because yeah, it just won't happen. I think Mick's fastest lap was a bit too fast, considering it was on softs as well and probably used up most of his battery power. Pintita 19 seconds behind. That's very far away. That's very, very far away, considering that's the battle between first and second here. 10 seconds between Pintita and Snoz. It's just, yeah, this race is just extremely hard to commentate on, especially with just myself. It's just so boring. But the only thing is, I think the driving standards are definitely improved, maybe due to the lower attendance. But over the past few races, there was a lot of crashes and only a few finishers, maybe less than this. But to go over this race at the moment here, Samas in P11 there with disqualification, so he must have got one too many track limits there, which is very unfortunate. So he won't bring home points at all. Bosan in the Williams DNF'd, then Yeet, so there's no points for Williams either. Cooldown phase not bringing home points for the Ferrari team there. Weechazza, he's 12 seconds behind Dan's car. Dan in P6 in the McLaren, 52 seconds behind. That's like 2/3 of a lap, I think, behind the person in 5th. Yeah, that's a huge gap. Well, Mr. Johnson's 8.8 seconds behind someone. That's the closest gap we've got, apart from that and Snoz and Pintita. Oh wow, so I didn't even realise. Oh, I'm so sorry. Mick has just won the race. Yeah. It's very unfortunate for Mick there. So Mick has won the Qatar Grand Prix there. So the midpoint in the season, round 6, Mick wins it. Very, very dominant race. Congratulations to him. He done everything right. Not one toe wrong, and he's just done it right. Pintita comes home for Ferrari in P2. Snoz rounds the final corner. He's going to be in P3 here. After the 2 drive-throughs, he done extremely well. The next person will probably be Casas here, but what a race it was for Mick. Sorry I didn't catch up on that, but very great race. He just done everything right. Not one thing wrong. I can't really fault him for, but Hassas comes across the line now to get P4, which is very, very good points for the McLaren team here. Mr. Johnson round the final corner as he's going to go past all the garages now, cross the line, and that's going to bring the Red Bull team home P5 as well. So a 1-5 for Red Bull. That's very, very good. And sorry for Mick there. I beat the other Aston Martin guy penalties. Lol. Driver of the day for Dan. So Dan didn't even do anything, and he managed to beat him. Gets driver of the day, sorry. In any case, I'm so sorry I didn't pick up on that, Mick. Yeah, just a bit of rusty commentary skills there, sorry. He brings home P1 for the Red Bull team. Very, very good race there, honestly. He will probably celebrate that a lot. 26 points to his name now because he got fastest lap as well. That's a lot of points for the Red Bull team. Ferrari, very unlucky, especially Gordon faced his car, but I'm sure they'll definitely pick up more points in the other tiers and obviously next weekend out. But can I get your comment on the I can't comment on that, sorry. I don't want to be biased on it. I really don't at all. But that is our order here. Mick in the Red Bull in P1, what an unstoppable drive. Pintita in the Ferrari, Snoz, Hassas, Mr. Johnson, Dan Howarth, Rui Chazza, Kuldan Faze, Yeet, Bosan, Samas. What a great race here in Saudi Arabia. Oh, sorry, not Saudi Arabia. Oh, Qatar. I'm so bad at this. I'm so sorry. But great race nonetheless. Quite boring to commentate on, but a very, very fun race, and I'm sure the Red Bull team would be happy with that. That is WLR Tier 3, round 6 of the season. Well done to everyone who competed here, and thanks for watching.